Welcome to Empowered by Illness, a podcast about living with genetic disorders. Episode 4: The Necessity of Mental Health. Today is infusion day for my son. On these days, our anxiety is heightened. For him, it's the fact that he has to be poked with a needle, has to sit for hours, and just can't be an 11-year-old boy. There are times when he breaks down. He pleads with me not to have to do it anymore. If it were up to me, my baby would never have a needle touch his skin. The sad part is that the rewards outweigh the risk, so I have to help him to understand the necessity of his infusion and try not to cry in front of him. We've done this every 2 weeks for almost the last year. These infusions prevent his vital organs from shutting down. Saying that out loud is breathtakingly scary. My 14-year-old daughter has multiple medical issues, which means we're still fighting. Fighting to find someone who listens, necessary testing, dealing with all of the insurance BS, medical fees, for doctors to figure out what her medical issues stem from. This definitely takes a toll on all of us. She tells her brother all of the time how lucky he is to have a treatment and that people at least know how to help him. This is so hard to hear my child say. It's devastating to say the least. Their feelings are completely valid on both ends, but either way, it is hard for them to comprehend how to recover and rebuild from each of these emotions. The helplessness we feel from all of our medical issues can be unbearable at times. How do you as a parent cope with these inconsistent ways that prevent your every breath? Do you scream, cry, break things? Sometimes I do all of them. Taking on too much constantly is hard on my health. I'm slowly learning how to set the proper boundaries and say no when needed. These are key points to mental wellness. When you are the primary go-to person for long periods of time, it starts to become second nature to say yes to everything. Learning your own personal boundaries is mental flossing. Cleaning out those crevices in order to be a better person. We as human beings have trials and tribulations, but the constant barrage wears us down and the nice lulls seem to come less frequently. Survival mode is real and it lives in my body. This is why mental health is more than important in our world. Therapy is highly recommended if you have children in the same situation. This helps them to figure out how to recognize these emotions, express them correctly, as well as grow from them. Not only does it help children with chronic illnesses, but it helps the caregivers. Life is hard enough to not have some clarity in muddy waters. Even if it were just me, I would still see a therapist. I've always told people therapy is just like going to the dentist. It should be just as essential to aid the mind as it is to care for the body. It also benefits me to see things from the outside when I'm lost in all the chaos. There are other ways we release our stresses along with therapy. Not that I have time to do these often. Going into nature is a huge relief. Touching water, a lake, pool, or if you can, the ocean. Hell, most of the time I'd settle for bath water. Even taking a walk around the block. This one is easier said than done. Camping, going to the park. These are things that take our minds off of what is happening around us and things that we are unable to control. Just to breathe. I find getting a pedicure helps me to relax even more now. When I introduced this to my 14-year-old, she was a little apprehensive and now she loves it. It helps her with her circulation. There are other short-lived resources we utilize to give comfort and allow us to step out of our own heads even for 5 minutes. For me, cooking does this, listening to music or even crying in my car. We've also found that water therapy has been really therapeutic and it helps with our joints since we have an issue with swelling and pain. The exercises in the water seem to take the pressure off of my hips. Sometimes I have knee issues, so it's hard to do it still, but now that I've learned kinesiology, it's a little better, and I can still do water therapy even with the Kinsey tape on. So that's helpful. I know some of these are small things, but these are the things that literally get me through my day. But talking about it is the most important one by far. So don't keep it all bottled up. Let the waves and lulls come and use your releases any chance you get. The little things are what give you the small breaks in between the big waves. So remember to take care of your mind and your body in between those big ones. We recently found out that my son will no longer have to do infusions. Our genetic mutation of Fabry allows us to be able to take a pill called Galafold. But they were not treating children with it because it had not been tested. My son will be 12 soon, and they will allow him to take Galafold, which has been set for trials for children 12 and over. He started having a reaction to the infusion, so that has actually sped up the process of him getting on Galafold. I just wanted to give an update on his infusions and the fact that we are able to stop them, because that has been a huge relief for everyone recently, is knowing he doesn't have to go through that anymore. Now we're just playing the waiting game with the insurance company, which is so much fun. Also, I apologize for the delay in this episode. I had a cold I've been fighting for like a week and a half, and it turned into a sinus infection. So I'm just glad it wasn't the flu or COVID or anything, but thank you for your patience on these often times that I am too sick to record. I appreciate every single one of you. Until next time, take care of yourself. When subscribing to Empowered by Illness, you are not only spreading awareness of genetic disorders and chronic illness, but helping our family with medical bills and everyday necessities. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for subscribing to Empowered by Illness.